Two, having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet.
The television, Sexy Red, Ice Spice, and, the rap girls are the one who's raising the children nowadays. And people will go back and forth about being child-free or having...
Nah, but let's talk about this. Because for some reason, the majority of parents today believe that the responsibility of their child's education rests solely on the teachers. Like, you're not...
I'm calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. I told a young little girl, please sit in your spot. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do. Okay. When her mom came to pick her up, I said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions. And 7 times today, I've had to redirect her to just sit in her spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit. And mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So, I mean, if she's telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious. And y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee. Your daughters, your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana ballet music. And they are asking me, can we hear Pound? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life. We do freeze dance. You guys' daughters are twerking at 5. Where's the parenting? Where's the boundaries? Where's the help? Y'all are not helping your kids. You're hurting them. You guys are hurting them. I come every day dressed, ready to go, and I'm in school too. I'm in college. I mean, I put bows in my hair. I'm wearing leotards. I'm trying to get them interested in like proper things for their age, and you guys are exposing your kids to this raunchy secular music. Why is you guys' 5-year-old's daughters singing Pound Town? And it's just really, 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 it's upsetting. And I feel so bad. And I've watched different techniques, soft skills, soft parenting, gentle parenting. I'm patient. I don't yell. I'll say, hey, let's regroup. If you guys need 5 minutes, let's do some breathing. Your kids are telling me to shut up. You guys' kids are saying, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. You're not my mom. They're putting their hand, they're hitting each other and hitting other kids. You address the parent. The parents are telling you, You don't tell my daughter what to do. It's not that bad. Well, at least she was in the class. At least. It's all these excuses. Y'all come in and you're more worried about what's going on your Instagram and TikTok feed versus being a parent. Be a fucking parent. You guys are horrible fucking parents. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but this generation of some of the mom, not all, but majority that I've dealt with kids that are between the ages of 5 and 4 and 3, you guys don't parent your children at all. They have no basic comprehension skills. They can't sit still. No attention span. They're hitting people. They can't talk. They can't communicate. They don't even know how to say, like, I want to go to the bathroom. If you ask them a question, they're rude, nasty, horrible attitudes at 5, and they want to hear Pound Town. What are you guys doing with your kids? What are you guys literally doing with your kids? Because I have never in my life experienced something so horrible. I literally don't even want to teach ballet to you guys' kids anymore because they are so hard to work and deal with. And I literally see why the teachers are quitting and your kids are getting expelled and kicked out, because it's no way, it is literally no way that this is happening and you guys don't see any issue with it. I tell you, your kid hit someone and you're saying, well, what the fuck did the little bitch do to my daughter to make her want to hit? Nothing. Literally nothing. Your daughter just decides she wants to put her hands on people and you don't correct her. You're yelling at me, asking me, why does she feel like she wants to hit? What parenting is happening? You guys are worried about seafood boils and dates and fucking like partying and being a hot mom. You guys are shitty moms and it needs a change. Stop listening to Sexy Red around your children. Talk to your kid, interact with them, teach them, listen to them, teach them to respect authority. Don't say you don't have to listen to anyone unless they're me. Your kids are so horrible and hard to deal with, and I'm blaming the parents because they have horrible guidance. And it needs to be a change. And I'm asking, can somebody's mom stitch me and say like what the holdup is? What is the issue? Why are you listening to raunchy music around your kids? Why is it that you have to deal with certain people and be rude about it? Why can nobody correct your kid or help them get on a better track? And why do you guys approve and applaud bad behavior? Why? Because I'm telling you, all the teachers that are good and have genuine interest in building your kid, I want to help them. I want to help these little girls realize that they are precious, that they have purpose, that they're beautiful, that they're smart and intelligent, and that they can be somebody. I don't want to see little 5-year-olds trying to twerk to Pound Town. And you guys think that it's cute. And I'm coming on here because it needs to be a change. So please tell me, as an educator, a teacher, and I'm just a ballet teacher. I'm not a regular trained institutional teacher. I'm teaching 5-year-olds ballet, and these are all the problems starting now, and it's no change happening. So what needs to be done and happen to fix this issue? Please, somebody tell me, somebody make it make sense, because I'm telling you, I'm this close to quitting and saying I'd never want to work with people's kids again, because this has been the most horrible experience. I've never dealt with an experience like this. Listening to raunchy music around your kids needs to stop. Applauding bad behavior needs to stop. Not giving your kid your attention but throwing an iPad at them or a tablet because you don't want to parent needs to stop. I'm coming on here and I'm begging you guys, I'm asking you to really please make a change. Make a change. Your kids' lives are depending on it for y'all to make a change. Please make a change.
Nah, but let's talk about this. Because for some reason, the majority of parents today believe that the responsibility of their child's education rests solely on the teachers. Like, you're not supposed to be going over the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s at home. Their parents refuse to help them with their education. They believe that everything they need to learn is at school, and they don't teach them shit when they're at home. I may be fucked up, but there's one thing that my mother did right. My mother started reading to me whenever I was in her womb. I had a little mini library in my room just full of books. I loved to fucking read. She encouraged it so much. She was always going over flashcards with us, going over the colors, the numbers, the shapes, the letters, and all of that. When she wasn't with us and she had us staying with somebody else, she would have them do the same thing with us. But let's step away from education. Let's think about other things that a child needs to be taught before they go to school. The amount of stories that my mother told me of like 3rd graders, 4th graders, 5th graders coming to her because they had accidents because they weren't fully potty trained at 8, 9, 10 years old because the parents refused to properly potty train them. This is the reason why a lot of us child-free people have chosen not to have children. You have to teach them these things, and it takes time. You have to put in time and energy to teach your children these things. It is not the sole responsibility of the teachers at the school. A lot of people nowadays are just having kids because they want babies. They don't want a child that they have to raise to be a functional member of society. And that is why a lot of these kids are fucked up today, because their parents did not take into consideration the amount of responsibility a child is. You have to teach them how to hold things because they don't know how to hold these little motherfuckers are helpless. And the parents' neglect is what ends up hindering these children. People are not putting enough thought into the choice of whether or not to have a child because some of these motherfuckers are not capable of doing everything that is required to raise a child properly.
I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and
Sis, you had me at 5-year-olds. Because 2 things I will no longer do. Teach 5-year-olds or teach 5th graders. Anything with the number 5. Bless her heart. Isn't she so cute? And she teaches dance. We're going to talk about that in a minute. About 20 or 22 years ago, my very first teaching experience was kindergarten. 5-year-olds. My son was in my class. After that experience, I said I would never teach kindergarten or 5-year-olds ever again. Little people with little teeth and little feet and little attitudes and little opinions don't listen to anybody. And that was 22 years ago. I cannot imagine teaching 5-year-olds today. I can't. I won't. I don't, for that very reason. Now, let's talk about the dance teacher aspect of things. I'm a dancer and a dance teacher. Discipline, structure, all things that you learn in dance class, no matter whether it's ballet, lyrical, contemporary, structure, discipline, dance, right? This is me with my very first ballet teacher. I could not imagine her having to go through what this little girl just went through, because if Miss Colleen said, put your hair in a bun, pull it back, first position, you got your black leotard and pink tights on, your mouth is closed, your ears are listening. Period. Period. You hear me? Structure, discipline, all of that. There was no talking back. There was no sassiness. There wasn't any twerking and twirling going on at the age of 5 or 6 either. None of that with this lady right here. No, ma'am. Side note, I was an amazing dancer. There's an article on me, frame of reference. Go ahead and pause to read. No matter whether it's teaching dance or teaching in the classroom, these kids are out of control. And unfortunately, some of these parents are too. And it can't be because they're young, because I was a young parent and I would never, have never, did never, could never, as a young parent at 22. No, ma'am. Me at 5 telling you no? My kids at 5 telling you no, I'm not doing that? What? Unheard of. This is why I don't teach 5-year-olds. This is why.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny, and this will continue to happen because you know why? The television, Sexy Red, I Spies, and the rap girls are the one who's raising the children nowadays. And people will go back and forth about being child free or having children, but at the end of the day, who is raising those children? Who is going to actually raise them and educate them? Because at the end of it all, nowadays, especially after the C-19 happened, we see an influx of people, children who are being raised by television, by the iPad, and there's children out here who cannot even spell their own name and they're 5 years old. I've never seen this in my entire life. Even in Haiti, I remember my sister, she was kind of delayed. So she used to stutter all the time, as a child. And by 5 years old, she couldn't talk, and we were worried that she could not talk. And this was in Haiti, okay? But that's the thing. A lot of people want to have children for the aesthetic, for, social media, so they can create content and all that stuff. And if you're not a social media person, maybe you have children so you can have someone to take care of you when you get older. Or you have someone who's going to, support you and go to school and become a doctor so they can elevate the family name. But that's a lot of responsibility in a child. But when they are young, and it's your time to basically raise them and so they can be decent human beings in society, we're not doing that. We're failing the children. We are failing the generation that is coming. We're not raising the kids. And a lot of time people will tell me, oh, what you expect in a relationship is a bit overboard. But to me, I don't think so. I feel like I should have the right, I should have the choice to be able to stay at home and raise my kids if that's what I so wish to. And that is the reason why I would not have children unless I feel like I have found the person who can give me that life, who can basically give me that option so I can sit and I raise my children. I grew up in a home where my parents were not, they provided for us very well, but they were not present. So my sisters, the ones who are older, had to become the parent in the family. So basically they raised us, they take us to doctor's appointment and everything. So it got to the point where if I needed to do something or if we needed to do something, we would ask mom, and then we had to ask the sister, and dad also, to, and she would have the last say. So why? Because she's the one that's basically raising us, because mom had to go out and make ends meet, and I don't blame her for that. But my little sister, she still hold this grudge that, oh, your parents, you never home for Christmas and da da da. Even though we knew as older children in the family, we knew that why she wasn't there, because she had to work night shift before she had her store and everything. She had to work night shift in a nursing home as a CNA to be able to bring to for us to have a good life. And my father, of course, something happened and he wasn't able to work, right? But he was able to support when he was able to work. But we understood that. But my sister, who was born here in America, she did not understand that. So for her, she felt like she didn't have that. She did not have that. So even though you're thinking that, oh, I'm just going to send my kids to school so they can be taught by the teachers, no, it's not the teacher's job to raise your kids and educate your kids. Education and respect and responsibility, all of that is learned at home. You have to teach your kids those things at home before they go out into the world and be a menace to society. You have to teach them those things at home. If you're going to just have the kids and give them an iPad so they can be distracted, so you can go ahead and do whatever you need to do, I don't think you should be having kids. Now, I don't have children, so I don't think, I have a whole lot to say when it comes to how you should raise your kids, but you do what is best for you. But at the end of the day, too, you have to think about those children. They are going to school and being menace to society. They are going out into the world and being menace to society because no one is at home to raise them. And then in the Black community, we wonder why our children are being taken out by nonsense, power violence and all of that stuff, is because they didn't have one, they probably didn't have a father in the home to really teach them, to talk to them and all that stuff. And also they did not have that motherly figure to be able to teach them and talk to them like, hey, there are certain friends that if you meet them, not everybody's your friend, and there are things that you just shouldn't do. You should not be involved in those things because this and this could happen. But if the mom is at the house and all they see is a strong Black woman always working every day, putting food on the table and da da da, but meanwhile they don't have a father in the home, or maybe they do have a father in the home, but he also has to work and she has to work. So they don't have anybody at home to raise them, to teach them right from wrong, to teach them, but they're learning from the street. So what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be on the street because that's what raised them. The street raised them. Even when it comes to like the young women, they're not going to understand the concept of being with a man who respects you and who is going to love and care for you, because they never saw that, because they never saw their parents showing that love to each other, because they're too busy, they're working, they have to do all these extra things, and the children are basically raising themselves. They have to do all these extra things on their own because the parents are too busy. And it's not the parents' fault. They have to kind of keep up with it. And also, when you come from a different country and you come to this country, you basically have no choice but to work, right? So you have to work constantly, but you also feel like you have to be there for your children. So you're kind of stuck between both. So what do you choose? You don't want the door to be. You don't want eviction letters being on the door, but you also want to raise your kids properly because it's what you used to back in your country. But you have to pick the lesser evil. You know what I mean? So it's kind of you feel like you have to you feel like you have to go to work to support your family, because if you don't, back home is even worse than the situation here. So you're kind of forced to allow your young children or your older children to raise the younger ones. So now they have to stop their life so they can raise the younger child. Or if you don't have someone who's older, your kids are like 12, 13, 9, stuff like that. Now they're being raised by the TV. So we even have the thing where you basically would tell your kids, don't open the door for strangers, don't cook, when you're not at the house. If they're not able to do these things, that's because they're not old enough to be at the house by themselves. But because they have to, so therefore they're forced to be at the house by themselves. And whenever they go to school, they are basically misbehaving, do not respect anybody, because they were never taught how to respect people. The teachers are not here to teach your children how to, show respect to someone who is of authority. They do not know that. So therefore, your children are going to be menace to society. They're just going to go run rampage. And then we will have teachers like her, this beautiful, beautiful young lady who is coming out here and crying on the internet because the kids are so misbehaved. You got kindergarteners singing, bend that over, let that, what? Why does your kids even know the words to these songs? Now, these people are making these kind of songs and for your children to listen to. Meanwhile, their kids don't listen to those kind of songs. Do you think Blue Ivy and Sir and Carter listening to Sir and Rumor or Rumi are listening to Bend That Over and Let That? No, they're not. I remember seeing a video of Cardi B where she basically turned off the music, her own music, and I think it was WAP. She turned it off as soon as her daughter come into the room. And even when, hey Cardi, all you want, but when she go on live with her children or when she posts her kids, you can see that her kids are so well behaved, so well behaved. I was watching a live with her where she was like eating candy with culture, and the little girl, oh, she was so cute. I mean, she melted my heart. She was so cute, so well behaved. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, da da da. But you think the kids out here are saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am? No, they're not, because I have nieces and nephews that are being raised by the television, and I know that they are not well behaved. Even though their mom will, have some days off, but by the time she has some days off, she's worried about, finishing up whatever she needs to finish up, or try to pick up an extra side hustle so she can work, because she just don't have the time. She don't have the money to take care of the kids and still give them good parental attention and take care of the kid, like basically teach them, help them read, sit with them, all of those things, bake cookies with them, bake cupcakes with the daughters, and do like tea parties and all that stuff. Children need those things. We are robbing our children of their childhood right before our eyes, and we don't even know that. But all we care about is, oh, we need to continue our legacy. Well, what legacy exactly are you continuing? What legacy? Because you don't care about the legacy that you're trying to continue, because you're not even there to raise their children so they can bring up that legacy, so they can pass it down to their next children. If they're being raised like that, I don't think that there should be any point of you having children if you don't even have the time to raise those children. Kids are just out here just running rampage. It's just crazy to me. Anyways, guys, talk to y'all later. Bye.